are live in Crandon, Wisconsin for the Traxxas TORC Series, and for 40 years this upstate Wisconsin town has been the off-road racing capital of the world. The Kumho Tires Pro 4 trucks are on the starting line. They're four-wheel drive behemoths with 900 horsepower. And make absolutely no mistake, this is a collision sport. If you've never witnessed this, just give us 1 hour to show you things you've never seen before. Believe it or not, both those trucks rolled on, including a truck without a driver. I'm Marty Reid. Tes Sewell's alongside, as is Ricky Johnson for this race, and Tiffany Simon's in pit lane, and we're getting ready for one of the most unique elements of this sport, the land rush start, Tess.
Well, the land rush is amazing. Normally in short course races, the guys are rolling when they start. Here, they scream at 100 miles an hour down into turn one. This is going to be insane.
And we're green, and Ricky, you've been here. What's it like?
Right now, you're using your left brain going, okay, I see an opening, but as you come to the turn, look at the roost. These guys are driving blind. If you're getting hit in the face, you know you're on track. Mike Jenkins getting sideways, up on the barrier, out into the barrier. Oh!
Jenkins, hard hit.
Hard hit, but that safety wall did its job. There's a lake right on the other side of that test, and it's a good thing that wall was there.
And the funny thing was, you said Mike Jenkins had the perfect placement there to get out and get really, really fast into turn one, and he did not let up at all.
Mike Jenkins goes on the bicycle, comes out, hits the rail, gets on top of there, but now as he's trying to save it, right into the wall, everything does its job, the cables, the bars, everything. Another angle coming straight in, trying to get it wound down, and right into the wall. You can see the cabin is cleaned up, so he should be okay.
He recorded his first podium of the season in the last round. The safety crew getting over to him to make sure that everything is okay. And we are getting word from officials we will have a complete restart. So this race has been red flagged. And we didn't even see this. Look at this mess. You've got the 2 of Steve Barlow, the 435, that's Jamie Flannery. Also, I'm trying to see, also the 33 of Steve McCrossan is in this mix. Everybody so far has been told that we are okay as far as injuries.
Jamie Flannery is out of his truck. We see Adrian Chinney, Mark Jenkins also in there, Steve McCrossan, and Steve Barlow.
Take another look at what happens here. Now, this is what happened to everybody else. Look out. Well, say goodbye to that camera for the rest of the day.
Exactly. That was an awesome shot.
Well, we told you this is a collision sport, and you get a view from behind this massive crash right in turn number 1. And this is the worst wreck we've had all weekend. The series actually runs a full round of racing on Saturday and another round of racing on Sunday. And this was the last race for these guys, and I guess everybody forgot that turn 1 can really become treacherous.
Well, this is a lot like motocross, but you're doing it with 4,000-pound vehicles. You know, motocross, we line up side by side. Mike Jenkins is out. He's assessing the damage. Obviously, he will not be able to get back in that truck. A very hard hit. You know, him and the whole Traxxas crew did a great job building a safe truck around him, but as he just showed, lights out. We are not racing anymore. So tough for him. He was on the podium yesterday, and we hate to see him out. But going back to that land rush start, Marty, you know, everywhere else you line up 2 by 2. Here, old school, it's like motocross. We all come down in there. If there's a problem, everybody gets in it.
So Mike Jenkins, who finished 3rd yesterday, won't even survive past turn number 1 as far as today's racing is concerned. So we'll check on all the other drivers, but as of right now, we are being told by race officials that everybody is A-OK, and that is the best news that we can pass along to everyone at home. Crandon International Raceway under a red flag condition in the Kumho Tires Pro 4 action. Let's take you back and show you that's the net result for one of many trucks involved in a multi-truck crash. That is the 47 of Mike Jenkins going on the bicycle, and then look what happens.
Gets on top of there. He's trying to save it, tries to get wound down, and that safety fence did everything that it was supposed to do, Marty.
Take another look from behind. You can see the pond. It's named Parsons Pond. And the reason that barrier was built years ago, Dave Parsons actually rolled into that pond. Luckily, he rolled right side up, and the scuba guys didn't have to go diving in after him. But you can see the rest of all the carnage, and we're going to have to clean it up. So what we're going to do is we're going to take you back to racing from earlier today. Robby Gordon was involved in the Pro 2 race, as was Ricky Johnson. That's where we'll take you right now. Back at the starting line, you can see that the Pro 2, the AMSOIL Pro 2s are on station, ready to go racing here on the 1.5-mile layout of Crandon International Raceway. Yesterday's action saw Todd LeDuc take the points lead by winning his second race in a row. And we are getting ready to go green. We've got two onboards with you, Rob McCachran in his number 11 and Jeremy McGrath in the Traxxas onboard as the green flag flies, and we are green at Crandon.
Oh, here they go down this start stretch, going to scream into this corner number 1 again. The question is, can that blue truck there get the whole shot again? Scott Taylor, look at the mess coming into this turn, and Taylor gets it again.
The number 8 of Scott Taylor on the outside is McCachran. He's right behind him in second as they fly over the jump in front of this huge crowd.
Wow, that's such an unbelievable shot too, Marty, because you get that crowd of trucks, so many trucks, 20 of them funneling into this course, trying to sort things out right at the start of this Pro 2 race.
This is our single largest field. Two-wheel drive, heavy-duty pickups, 900 horsepower. And the problem is, as we go on board with Rob McCachran, is how do you get all that power down to the ground?
Well, and this class actually has two-wheel drive, not the four-wheel drive that the Pro 4s have. The same amount of horsepower, though, 900 horsepower in these trucks delivered to the back wheels. And look at the problem McCachran had there. That's going to cost him Taylor. Look how clean he is out in front.
That was Robby Gordon getting around the outside and picking up the spot. It looked like Ricky Johnson picked up third as well.
This is trouble for these guys. Robby Gordon is fast in any sport. You know, he's going to be racing NASCAR after he races this. So an unbelievable ride for Robby Gordon. He is coming out here to win. That is the only reason he's in Crandon this weekend.
Scott Taylor, as you can see, 35 years he's been running this sport, and the old wily veteran has got it. Oh, no. Look at Jeremy McGrath.
That's a real shame for Jeremy. Let's see what happened to break that front end there.
Well, it's already happened at that point. So I'm wondering if coming over the Traxxas launch zone that maybe the suspension just gave up on him.
Yeah, we saw a lot of unforced errors that happened yesterday where guys ran up into the wall, and that may have happened to Jeremy.
Back to the action out on track. That is Scott Taylor in front of Robby Gordon. Third is Ricky Johnson, and there is your fourth place truck of Rob McCachran. Boy, Taylor just thumping everybody right now.
You know, and Taylor had those troubles yesterday, and that cost him the race because he looked so clean when he started out. But again, he's pulling away from the field. Robby Gordon is trying to chop away at that lead. There is Robby Gordon in that Polaris machine. But Ricky Johnson, he wants to get that points lead back here today.
He trails by 2 to Todd LeDuc. And for Ricky Johnson, it's been quite a transformation from motorcycle superstardom to TORC off-road racing. Here's our AMSOIL driver profile.
Passion for racing started with my father. He raced go-karts. I think he was one of those guys that had so much talent, but you know, raising a family, had his own painting business, he never really got to do what he wanted to do. And he, you know, vicariously lived through me, got me on a motorcycle at a very young age. It's something that I identified with, and I loved racing. And my goal was to be the best ever motocross racer. But I had a good stint at it, but it got cut short. You know, I love doing schools, I love training people on motorcycles, but I wanted to do more. So in doing that, I went from driver to training people how to ride to now I'm one of the owners in the series and driving, so I got a lot of balls in the air. Without a doubt, truck racing for a motocross guy is the fountain of youth. When I'm out there driving, I know that in my mind that I'm a better racer today than when I was 25 on a motocross bike. But my body, my wrist, my knees, you know, I can't run anymore. I can't do the things that I could do when I was 25. But in my mind, I've built my craft much better. That means the world to me that I can be here with my family. Luke, all he ever did when he was a little kid is pick up a helmet. He proved that he has the passion. My family can come watch the race, they could be at the race, and I can also support him as well. So this creates a very strong family bond, and it's given me a chance to pass on to him really the only thing I know.
And family is very important to him. As we come back, we have got mayhem down at the far end of the race course. This is the final turn right before you come down the pit straightaway. You can see everybody trying to tiptoe. Mike Oberg is upside down. right at that entrance to that 180-degree corner.
It's going to be interesting to see once they right Obert's truck if he can actually drive that thing away. And unbelievable things happen here in TORC racing. These trucks, they are incredibly tough, and you flip them, they just get right back up and keep going. We saw a lot of that in the series so far, and even yesterday. But meanwhile, Taylor, look at this. That number 8 is just driving away. Still, though, Robby Gordon is behind him in second, but Ricky Johnson is really working hard on the back of that 007 of Gordon.
Let's get an update from Tiffany Simons on Robby.
I spoke with Robby this morning. You know, he arrived here last night at 11. He tested at Crandon 2 weeks ago, and they did really well. However, this weekend, he has not had that advantage. He told me about the crash that he had on Tuesday. His eye is fine. He can see. However, it's his neck. He has to be careful about looking left, looking up. That's where he could possibly feel the pain of that. And he said, look, I'm not a cautious guy, but I have to think big picture. And tonight, that's what's really important for me.
And the crash Tiffany's referring to was earlier this week. He was testing his Hummer desert vehicle in Arizona, and it went back over, like almost like a blowover. And he ended up with some very sore shoulders, the neck, as she described, and he has a really wicked-looking black eye. That's why he had the sunglasses on for the shot that you saw, the picture of him. But so far, running strong in second place, but he is 6 seconds behind. Take a look at Evan Evans as he makes his way around. Let's take you back and show you what happened to Jeremy McGrath and why he is out of this race. We're on board. And that is Evan Evans, and he had contact with him.
Look at that. That's a lot of contact. You can see the back end of Evans' truck going up there, the fiberglass flying. That's a bad end for McGrath.
Tough break for Jeremy. He has still yet to win in the TORC series this year, and for a guy who is so used to winning on 2 wheels, he wants it badly at 4, but it's going to have to wait to our next round in Paris, California. There is the damage from Evan Evans' truck, and there is your race leader, Scott Taylor, by 6.6 seconds over Robby Gordon. Ricky Johnson in third, another second behind. And that was action from our Pro 2 race earlier today. There's Mike Jenkins. We're going to get a chance to talk to him. They are still cleaning up the mess from the crash. That's Mike's truck. Stay with us. We're coming back with more TORC series action. Ricky's trying to close the gap. McCachran, he's another 4 seconds back. And right now, we are getting ready to come up on the white flag lap here at Crandon in the Angelo Pro 2 division.
What you could see there, Marty, was the fact that Ricky is trying so hard to get past Taylor, and this is a very, very tough track to pass. It's incredibly fast. It gets worn into that one line, and look again. Ricky is now pulled up on the back of the number 8 of Taylor. He's going to try and find the open door, the secret spot that gets him through. He has 1 lap of this Crandon track to do it.
You're looking at Evan Evans. That's Todd LeDuc right in front of him there in the 3 truck. But this is the biggest battle on the track. And you can see it is oh so close. They're heading out of the Argonne corner.
This is where it's going to start to get really fierce. Ricky is going to try and find a way, and I suspect we might see a little bit of contact as they come into one of these late corners, as Ricky's going to try and muscle his way past Taylor. Great race, though, for Taylor, who had that tragedy yesterday with his truck breaking down.
35 years he's been racing off-road. Knows every inch of this Crandon track, and he's hanging on for dear life as Ricky Johnson, a former champion in off-road racing, is closing and trying to take the position. Oh, but he lost a little ground there.
I think maybe he was trying the outside to inside swing there to try and get that blue groove, see him coming through the inside, but he doesn't have enough speed on there, whereas the speed being carried by Taylor on the outside. I don't know, though. I still think we're going to see a little beat and banging here at the end.
Taylor's gone wide. He's opened the door. He's got the forward bite, and he gets it. He holds on to the position, up over the launch zone. One more corner for Scott Taylor.
He's going to hang on to this. I don't think Ricky's going to square this one up fast enough.
It's going to be a wire-to-wire win for Scott Taylor. Ricky Johnson retakes the point lead with second. Rob McCachran third. A good run for Robby Gordon, but he hasn't made the finish yet, as he's going to back across the line. Robbie's always got to do it in style.
Only Robby Gordon can finish like that.
It means he'll finish 6th. Todd LeDuc will finish 4th. Evan Evans 5th. Unbelievable race. Clean sweep for Scott Taylor as he also gets the Oakley Bomb Run Award with the fastest lap by almost a second. And for the 6th time in 12 starts at Crandon, he's the winner. Tiffany's with him.
Scott, congratulations. This was your 2nd hole shot in as many days. Was that the key to getting the win out here today?
It sure is, Tiffany. The hole shot means everything here. Goodrich Tires got us off the line. We made a really good aggressive cut. And, you know, you're running against Todd and Robby Gordon and Rob McEachran, which are all good racing peers of mine. And, you know, what a great weekend to win with a new exposure of our Miller sponsorship. And I can't say enough for all the great folks behind me. And look at the great crowd. The people are still lining up to get in here. It's going to be a blowout all day long. But, you know, the Crandon people did a wonderful job, and everything is going really super in the series, and I'm very proud to be a part of it. And we hit fast lap time today again, so that's 3 for me.
Congratulations, Scott. Back to you, Marty.
All right, take a look at the championship points chase. Scott Taylor does move up a position in the points, and so does Ricky Johnson by 2 over Todd LeDuc. Boy, Paris, California is going to be fun. Get your tickets now. Rob McEachran's only 8 back, and as we mentioned, Taylor now 42 markers behind. Let's check in with Tiffany with 2nd and 3rd.
All right, Ricky Johnson, you told me earlier you wanted to be more aggressive. How frustrating was it when you were trying to close that gap on Taylor?
Well, you know, I got to give all props to Taylor. He drove a great race. You know, I didn't want to crash him the last couple laps, but he drove an awesome race. I screwed up. I went to 3rd. I pulled it back into neutral, so I blew the start. You know, I really got to, you know, congratulate Robby Gordon. I mean, the guy's just, he's the man. He comes out here, puts it to us on the whole shot, puts it to us on qualifying, but it was great to race with everybody. You know, my Red Bull Bosch Power Tools, Kumo Tires Ford F-150 was fast. I had the truck at the end, but I got to give respect to the champ.
All right, and Rob, get on over here. Talk to me about, was the points race racing through your mind when you were out there today?
Well, it was a little bit. You know, we want to win the points championship for Rockstar Energy and BF Goodrich Tires, but, you know, great racing. You know, we got Fords up here, 1, 2, 3. Scotty Taylor, my good buddy on BF Goodrich's, and myself on BF Goodrich's 1st and 3rd. So, you know, excellent event. Robby Gordon, as Ricky said, you know, awesome driver to come out here like he did, and he's very talented, and we really appreciate him coming out, and we really like beating him, too.
And as we come back live, you can see that they are relined everybody for the restart. And let's take it back and show you exactly why we had this red flag.
When you see Mike Jenkins as he bounces off the outside wall, his hands are off the steering wheel, Martin. He's trying to gather it back up. He doesn't quite get to the brakes, but there was no choice. That's 4,000 pounds going straight into the wall.
3 cars will not make the restart. Steve Barlow, Mark Jenkins, and Mike Jenkins. So here we go as we are getting ready to go back to green flag racing in Crandon. The flag is up, and we're running.
Rick HUSEMAN with a great run right down the middle. Kurt LeDuc on the inside. But no, it is Johnny Greaves going to pull off the hole shot on the inside in that monster Toyota.
Greaves on the left side of your screen. Keep an eye on that truck on the right side because that is Kurt LeDuc, another one of those wily old veterans. The 99 also in there, his son Kyle LeDuc trying to battle around for 2nd place.
Johnny Greaves getting sandwiched by the 2 LeDucs. Johnny holding his line, coming to the inside, protecting that line, and looking to get around the pole. A little bump, a little grind.
Oh, and look at the slide inside. Kyle LeDuc just literally bulls his way past Johnny Greaves. That'll get Johnny up.
So you look at that. Greaves is coming into Pops. He's coming into Kurt LeDuc, the 43, and then the 99 tags him and moves past him. Now you've got those 2 Rockstar machines, 1 and 2, but I don't think Johnny Greaves is going to let it be status quo for very long.
No. Let me just tell you, Johnny Greaves is an unbelievable champion. I think he's the winningest off-road, short course off-road driver. He's won in Pro 2, Pro Light, Pro 4. He will be back.
It's the battle of the energy drinks. Rockstar 1st and 2nd, Monster 3rd and 4th.
Yesterday, Kyle LeDuc got in the back of Steve Barlow in lap 2, set him for a pretty ugly flip. USAC pulled him aside and said, "You're on probation." He had to start on the outside and said, "Any more bumping and grinding, we might have to park you." But that doesn't seem to be slowing down that kid. He's already up to 2nd, now going after his dad.
Boy, did you see Kurt LeDuc get nose heavy coming over one of those jumps? He saved it and still maintains the lead over son Kyle and Johnny Greaves in 3rd.
Well, the track right now is dusting up a little bit. Unfortunately, with that crash, we had to sit down a little bit. Oh! Rick HUSEMAN getting a little sideways. As I said, it's a little dusty and a little hard to see right now.
While all this is going on, Tiffany has caught up with Mike Jenkins.
Mike, you're on the other side of the track, not where you want to be right now. What happened with that start?
Well, I think I just drove in there a little bit hard, Tiffany. I get a little over anxious, I think, to try to gap the guy as best I could with that that pole start. and got it up on 2 wheels, turned into it, got it, rolled it on the railing there, and as you probably saw, we got a pretty good launch off that and into that next barrier. So fortunately, they designed it well. Both the truck and the barricade kept us out that lane.
Unfortunate day for Mike Jenkins. Back to you, Marty.
All right, and as you saw on the left side of your screen, Johnny Greaves was able to bull his way back around to take over the position from Kyle LeDuc. Kyle's father, Kurt, still first, Johnny in second.
Now we see Johnny Greaves has passed Kurt for the lead. No, I take that back. Kyle is out in front. He's got the lead. Johnny Greaves in second, and here comes Kurt LeDuc looking on the inside.
You're right. I got my Rockstar trucks mixed up there for a second.
And now HUSEMAN's back in the mix there. Remember, HUSEMAN's been so fast. We look at this onboard all season long. He was so consistent. You know, he's really now going to start working on both these two and see him coming in for the fight.
Well, HUSEMAN won 5 of the first 6 rounds, but has not won in the last 5 rounds of racing. So he's looking to get back on track.
As you can see, unfortunately for the track workers, with that yellow, with the big crash in turn 1, we've got a lot more dust than normal. So folks, the track's normally a lot wetter, a lot better visibility for the drivers, but unfortunately for that crash, it dried up a little bit.
But this is really, really serious for the drivers, because you get past one of these trucks, you're getting all that dust coming in. You don't have a windshield here, right?
No, you got a screen in there that protects you from the rocks. Here we're looking at Scott Douglas's in-car. You watch it, how much suspension and travel goes back and forth. Looks like he's not quite under power as strong as he could be, but you can see a lot of travel.
Well, Scott picked up his first win yesterday here at Crandon for the season, and right now finds himself running 7th, and that is a great view of how the suspension works. Meanwhile, taking a look at these guys that are duking it out, that is Kurt LeDuc and Rick HUSEMAN. That is the battle for 3rd.
What everyone needs to remember here is that we do have a competition yellow coming up, so that these guys can be a little more patient. Rick HUSEMAN looking on the inside, Kurt LeDuc using the berm, and that's something that we've implemented here in TORC Racing. Is a little bit more like motocross tests, and you know, obviously around all the different stuff that you've seen, use the banks to carry your speed.
And they really do. They use the side bite from those tires. It flings them around. They just keep under power all the way around, and wow, HUSEMAN going for a great ride there.
Well, we love the sound of these big engines. We're going to take a breather, so hit the volume on the remote as we go monster torqued up. Continues for 3rd. Kurt LeDuc in the 43, right ahead of the 36 of Rick HUSEMAN. They're both trying to track down Kyle LeDuc and Johnny Greaves, who are running 1st and 2nd.
Well, as a driver, you get 2 strategies. There is bonus points for 1st and 2nd when we get that competition yellow. So first place gets 2 points. Oh, Rick HUSEMAN getting up on the bicycle there, but as you can see in the in-car, back on channel, back on track and going. Back to that thought, 2 points for 1st, 1 point for 2nd, so you need those points for halfway mark.
And it is a mandatory caution that comes out in every pro race, and what it allows everybody to do is check equipment, but also tightens the field back up, makes for an interesting second half. So if you've had a bad first half, you still have a chance. And there you see the top 4. There's 4th place Rick HUSEMAN coming on through. So as you see, the top 5, we'll be back with more from Crandon after this message and a word from our ABC stations.
Busters, Traxxas has transformed the role of race car driver in a way we have never seen before. Here is this week's Traxxas Tech Fact.
Most excited about is we've taken a full-size, real pro-light truck straight from the track, and we've devised controls leveraging our experience and technology from the hobby industry, and given us an opportunity to actually run a full-size truck without a driver inside the truck. You can see the bullet camera that we have inside, just to the right of the driver's seat there, that allows us to have that look as if we were driving the truck. So as a race car driver, when I stand here and I look at the projected image, I have my RC control device that's actually operating the steering, the throttle, the brakes. I have the ability to shift. And so it's given us an opportunity to take what we normally do in the hobby industry with maybe 1/10 scale or 1/8 scale and move up to full size. In talking to the TV producer, for the TORC series, the idea was conceptualized, and we brought it to fruition in a matter of weeks. And we're excited to debut this at the Crandon race on the 40th anniversary.
Now, drivers, don't get nervous. Your job isn't in jeopardy just yet, but take it from us, you've been warned.
You could be replaced there, Johnson.
I know, all of a sudden you're going to have Jimmy Johnson and Jeff Gordon on two opposite ends of the world racing Daytona.
All right. Oh, Johnny Greaves,
wow.
during the competition caution, rolls the truck. Now, how in the world does that happen? Oh, now we got fire.
This was after the competition yellow. They went to a restart, and while we were at break, Johnny Greaves had flipped, and now we see fire. Man, tough break this year. Johnny has just, has worked so hard and so fast, but just hasn't had good luck.
And the track crew here really are fantastic. They got right on that problem. We've seen a couple of fires over the weekend. It'll be no problem for the drivers. So, and all the carnage we've seen today, again, everybody has just got out of that truck and walked away.
Yeah, the trucks are really, really tough, made out of chromoly. They're built to take. These things are about 3 times as rigid as a cup car, so they're really stiff, very firm, and also we're crashing into dirt, which takes a lot of the cushion test.
So you're looking at our race leader, Kyle LeDuc, as we are back to green flag racing for Johnny Greaves. He finished 12th yesterday. He's going to have another dismal finish here, and it is going to really slam his championship hopes.
Yeah, we see Johnny Greaves. I mean, we see Rick HUSEMAN coming in. He's blindfolded with that piece of fender. He can't see. All he can see is out the right side, so he's pretty much half blind, and you see him about half throttle.
Well, you know what's amazing here is he is actually starting to catch up to Kyle LeDuc, which was a big surprise. I thought that Kyle would have started to drive away from these two guys once Greaves was out of the mix, but no, HUSEMAN is just not going to let up, even though he can't see anything. Look at that.
Yep.
What an interesting angle if you're the driver, is driving looking out the side of the window. That's the view you're trying to see as, oh man, we still got 4 laps to go. The rear ends of off-road racing at Crandon International, and has never been more action-packed, especially since the first lap of this Kumho Tires Pro 4 race. And we finally saw some angle that shows us what happened to Johnny Greaves right at this restart. We're on board with Rick HUSEMAN.
Well, you're looking through Rick HUSEMAN's camera. Look to the right. You'll see Johnny Greaves get up on the bicycle, corrects really hard, and it snaps back and rolls the other way. Unfortunately for Johnny Greaves, that's a big berm there, about 7 feet tall, rolled him up and over the top.
So right now it is Kyle LeDuc. Would be his 3rd win in the last 4 races if he can hang on, and he's got a sizable lead right now over Rick HUSEMAN. His father, Kurt LeDuc, Chad Hort 4th, Scott Douglas 5th. There you see it.
Well, the problem for HUSEMAN is the fact that he's got that huge piece of fiberglass right in his vision, so he can't. You can see him there. He's trying to look each side. He doesn't know what he's about to run into. I mean, you just kind of have to use the force here.
Ricky, I don't know if you remember, years ago, Walker Evans had the whole hood up. That's the only thing I can remember that was ever worse than this one right here.
But if you pay attention to off-road racing, a lot of the times you're sideways. So as he comes into the corners, he'll look out to the inside. Then as he flicks it sideways, he'll look out the driver's side window. So he's constantly flicking the truck from the left to the right, looking out the left, out the right to find his way straight.
And the amazing thing is he doesn't really seem to be holding back. Kurt LeDuc is still sitting behind him there, hasn't managed to catch him and overtake him. So this is a great drive for Rick HUSEMAN.
You know, this is what championships are made of. He has not given up. He keeps fighting lap after lap.
Well, right now, as we get ready, the white flag is out for Kyle LeDuc, and he right now would win the Oakley Bomb Award. You get that from Oakley Watches for the fastest lap of the race. And look at that, 1:21 and change. That is flat flying around here.
The track is groomed really nice right now. It's got a little bit of cushion on it, not too high. Unfortunately, with all those trucks going out, the track didn't get beat up as bad as it normally does. But we see some guys in the back here with the truck that's pretty much shredded is Kenny Kincaid. He raced the 10th, 20th, 30th, and now the 40th anniversary here at Crandon. Chad Hort in the number 9. This is the 2nd time he's ever ran a Pro 4-wheel drive and doing an awesome job. But Kenny Kincaid, an emotional run for him. He's out here 40 years. He's been here every 10 years.
And it's amazing that those doors are hanging out like that. I mean, they're fiberglass panels, but still, it can't really help his aerodynamics.
And Chad Hort finished 2nd in that debut yesterday, right behind his teammate, Scott Douglas. He's leading Douglas, as you can see, as they come down through turn number 1.
Chad Horton is a standout in Pro Light. He's coming into Pro 2 next year. I can't wait to go race against him. But he has done an awesome job in this AMSOIL Kumho Tires super team. You know, they call that the super team, and now you can see why.
Now, one of the interesting things here, question for you, is in the team here with Horde and Douglas. Oh, what's going on? In the team with Horde and Douglas, does Horde need to stay behind Douglas to let Douglas go forward in points?
Rick HUSEMAN looking to the inside. Kyle LeDuc grabbing the checkered flag, Marty.
The winner, and Kyle LeDuc is on a hot streak. Who's going to get second, though? HUSEMAN's got the high line. LeDuc gives him a bit of a rub, but HUSEMAN gets the forward bite when he needs it and takes second place. Third place goes to Kurt LeDuc. You listen to the crowd in the background. They sure loved it, despite the red flag situation. And you see it's Horde and Douglas rounding out the top 5 here at Crandon. Look at everybody on their feet for the finish of this one. So Kyle LeDuc comes back and wins again for the 3rd time in 4 races and narrows the point gap down to 21.
Kyle LeDuc, hats off to him. That kid's been running really strong. You know, he did have the controversy yesterday getting into Steve Barlow. They made him start in the back, but he, you know, bounced back like a champion. He deserves this win.
There's an ironic twist. Had he had his regular starting position, would he have been involved in that first lap melee and maybe been out of this race?
More than likely, yes. So sometimes a curse can end up a blessing.
So there you can see the fans up on their feet. And it has been a huge crowd all weekend long. You got to remember, this is a town of 2,000 people that on Labor Day weekend literally swells by thousands.
Yeah, 40,000 people is what they're estimating here today. It's been crazy. The Crandon folks have done an awesome job. Johnny Greaves, feel really bad for him. Awesome champion. He will bounce back. You know, he builds the trucks, he races the trucks, him and his brother Kurt. So he's just assessing the damage. And there's Rick HUSEMAN.
Oh.
Now he can see.
And I think the crowd were on their feet. I mean, you'd heard that huge cheer for HUSEMAN coming through. I mean, he is so blind. I mean, that's right in the middle of where he's hoping to look.
And there's Kyle climbing out of the truck, the wreath. That's for the Borg Warner Championship. Tiffany, you're there.
Kyle, you've got the wreath. The Borg Warner Cup is yours, and you take home your 3rd win of the season. With everything that's gone on this weekend, how difficult was this one to take?
This is a dream come true. You know, my dad's won it. I've wanted it for a long time, and I came out here and represented me. My dad ran good Rockstar Energy drink to the top, and I can't believe I'm a Borg Warner champion. It's unbelievable.
Believe it. Congratulations. Marty?
All right, take a look at the points championship. It was 27 when the round began, as there you see the trophy. That goes for the Borg Warner Championship, as now we'll get a chance to show you the points. It's now down from 27 to 21 between 1st and 2nd. And there are the official or unofficial results with Kurt LeDuc, Chad Horde, Scott Douglas, Ken Kincaid, Johnny Greaves. Let's check in on 2nd and 3rd. Tiffany?
Rick, you've said you feel like you have to fight for every win out here. Today, you had a little bit of an extra challenge. Talk about the vision and how hard it was to see.
Yeah, the wreck at the very beginning messed up my hood, and then I think about halfway through the race, I couldn't see nothing, so I'm very happy to be in 2nd place. My Monster Energy Traxxas Toyota it was working perfect, except I couldn't see. This is my bad.
Well, congratulations. And Kurt, I know you've talked about how proud you are when you see your sons win. Today is one of those days.
Oh my God, unbelievable. I thought I was going to get 2nd and 1 to finish, but you know, I'm excited for Rockstar to give us the equipment and Makita the tools to win. And Kyle's the future, man. You're looking at it. Rick HUSEMAN's a great competitor. We race clean to the end. And live fans all around the United States, around the world. Unbelievable. I'm going to pass the torch to Kyle today, that's for sure.
A family affair, Marty.
Kurt won this championship in the Borg Warner back in 1998. It's easy for me to say. Take a look at the points update now, as it's from 27 to 21 with Rick HUSEMAN still in the lead. Johnny Greaves, that really hurt today. He's 42 markers behind with 4 rounds of racing remaining. All right, what we're going to do now is we're going to, because of our time constraints, earlier the Pro Lights race ran. We're going to pick it up right after the competition caution. Great story, Tiffany, and wow, what the technology is up to. Who knows? Maybe we'll have radio control play-by-play and analysts here pretty soon. All right, we're getting ready to go back to green flag racing here with Jeff Kincaid in front of Casey Curry, Chad Horde, Mark Oborg, and Brian Deegan. Deegan's going to try that outside line, but it's still going to be the number 4 of Kincaid as they come through turn 1.
And you see how hard Horde is working on Curry there. He wants to get through and get his chance, but Casey Curry so far is holding off the charge from that red truck of Horde. And where did Brian Deegan go? That was interesting. Eller got past him in the red number 11. Oh, and over it goes sideways.
He also collects one other truck right behind him. Could not pick up the number there. It was the 11,
Eller.
Randy Eller.
Oh no, so Deegan got past both of them because of their misfortunes. Take a look at this.
Oh. Excuse me, pardon me, I'm going to nudge you right into the berm.
And there goes Brian Deegan sailing on past, so into 4th place now for Deegan. He now has to start working on Chad Horde, and that was a bad result there for Oberg. He looked like he was doing really well on that restart.
Yeah, we told you this was a collision sport, and I'm sure that those two will have a conversation, to say the least, at the end. Check back to the battle right there with Chad Horde and Casey Curry. He has gotten around Curry, so Horde, a very important run for him, because remember, he is second in the points to Jeff Kincaid. Kincaid is leading again. There you can see the margin off into the distance. That's what he's got to try and cover up.
And Horde and Kincaid having that busy weekend, both doing double duty. Horde in the 4s, Kincaid in the Pro 2s. Now the question, we saw Horde's truck yesterday look really fast when he would get down those straightaways. Does he have the power now to reel in that black and white number 4 of Kincaid and hold off the hard-charging Casey Curry?
Well, Horde has 2 wins, 7 podium finishes this season as we go back on board with Brian Deegan. And Deegan up to 4th. This would be a great run for him.
He's being very smart. Look at him. He looks very calm, very cool in the truck here. Look at his visor. There's not a lot of mud right now on those tear-offs. That means he's not getting too close behind Casey Curry. He needs to start charging. He needs to collect a little bit more mud and dust, because that means he's really in contention to get in and past Curry.
Through that hard left-hander, Deegan, 16 seconds behind Jeff Kincaid, but no disgrace in that. Kincaid's beaten about everybody that's ever come to this track. Here he comes one more time.
And just look at the way he drives this track. It's unbelievable. He goes corner to corner and he uses the bite on those tires. We were talking about the side bite earlier, and that's where Jeff Kincaid never loses traction. He comes around the corner, he applies the tire to the rut that he finds, and he keeps the power all of the way through. This is absolutely fantastic driving.
There you see the gap now back to 2nd. And there is Curry in 3rd behind Horde. Then we move to 4th place, and there is Brian Deegan. Here comes 5th, which is Marty Hart.
Oh, Hart had that really bad start. He jumped, he got put way back. So now it means that Hart has a chance to chase down Deegan. That's bad for Brian Deegan. But let's see if Brian in that 38, we see him there coming into the picture, can catch up to this truck right now, the monster truck of Casey Curry.
He's got the body damage on the right side. Don't worry about it. Aerodynamics means nothing in this sport. It's all about horsepower and bite. What kind of traction can you get through the dirt? There's Brian Deegan, competed in Rally Car and Moto X Step Up at this year's ESPN X Games. He's got his hands full right now.